त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं चर्षणीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम्। ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवि चक्षुराततम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्लीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो नमः शिवाय च शिवाय नमो नमः शिवाय च शिवाय च शिवाय शिवाय च। Can everybody say after me Hare Rama Krishna 3 times? Om Hare Rama Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Hare Rama Krishna. Okay, we are done with all nakshatra mantras, or are there any left? I forgot. This is where we miss Ramakrishna Rao.
He went to India.
Yeah, I know. This is where we miss. He used to remember exactly which month.
Revati.
We were what? Revati and Rahu. Okay. So today is Ashwini. So this is a mantra for the Ashwini Devatas. The twins, basically, the divine twins. The divine doctors. So this is a mantra for Ashwini Devatas as the rulers of the Ashwini Nakshatra. Om Tarashvina Vashvajujopajatam Shubhangamishthau Sujame Bhirashvai Swam Nakshatram Havishaja Jantau Madbhasam Pruktau Jajusha Samaktau Yau Devanam Bhishajau Havyavahau Vishwasya Dota Vamrutasya Gopau Pau Nakshatram Jujushanopajatam Namosvibhyam Krunamosvayubhyam. So this is a mantra for the divine doctors, Ashwini Devatas, the twins, who were born to Surya, sons of Surya, the other sons of Surya. One son of Surya causes disease, Saturn, and the other sons of Surya, Ashwini Devatas, they solve the problems. They give cure from the diseases. And the mantra we finished Rahu, right?
Yeah.
So today is the last one. So today nakshatra from the Navagraha mantras we will do Ketu mantra. This is a mantra for Ketu. Om Ketum Krunvanna Ketave Pesho Marya Apeshase Samushadbhirajayatha.
Nakshatra and last.
Oh, nakshatra last. It's not the last. When is the last?
One more.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is Ketu's nakshatra actually. After Vimshati Dasha scheme, we did Ketu's nakshatra and we did Ketu. And which chapter are we on? On Parashara? By the way, before I forget, just one more thing. So we've been, for the last couple of months, we've been having on and off 1 week and then 2 weeks no classes like that. Unfortunately, next week also there will be no class. I'll be basically at my home, we'll be doing Chandi Homam starting from Friday, this Friday, going on till Thursday, basically those 7 days we'll be doing 10 Chandi Homas. So Saturday and Sunday we'll be doing 5 Chandi Homas. I don't know which day 2 and which day 3, but one day we'll do 2, one day we'll do 3. Basically, I did Chandi Patham 108 times, 108 consecutive days, starting from the Satyandi Homam that we did in March. at Chennai. I started then and till June I was doing it 108 times. So ideally when you do 108 times Chandi Patham, if you can do 1/10 of that, 10 times Homam, that is good. I didn't take any such sankalpam, but now I have an opportunity because I have a couple of priests from India. So they said, do you want to do it? So I said, fine, yeah, we'll do it. So we are doing Chandi Homas, and for those of you who came to the Chandi Home at my home last year, that was basically done on an elaborate grand scale. This will be more low-key. This will probably be done in the house, not in the backyard, and this will be smaller in scale, but procedure will basically be the same. So you are most welcome on all the 7 days, from Friday to Thursday, and all the days. Weekdays we will probably start around 7:30 like that, and it will take 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And the weekends it will basically be the whole day, Saturday and Sunday, almost the whole day. To do 3 homas will take basically 10 hours or 10-11 hours. So basically whole day we will be doing. So you are most welcome to attend the Chandi Home on Saturday and Sunday and listen to the Chandi Patham. If you also know how to do it, you can get a book and you can also read along with us. So you are all most welcome. Not just you. If anybody you know is interested, if you think they may be interested, please bring them. Okay, so no class next week. What is the week after that? 17. Yeah. Probably at this point of time it looks like there is nothing on that day. So there will be a class. There will be a class on 17th. So next week no class and you are welcome to come. And also by the way, the Purnima, just in case you are able to come, 1 second, let me find out when the Purnima is.
The 7th, right?
7th or 6th?
Friday.
Yeah, 7th. 7th, the thing is, 7th it will be finishing, Mishlani, Panchanga. So Purnima starts at 6:20 on 6th and it will finish at 2:41 on 7th, 2:41 p.m. So we will be doing on 6th only, on Wednesday. So 6:21 it starts. So we will be doing in the early hours of Purnima. So around 7:30 we will start and we will go till, it will take 3.5-4 hours. So from 7:30 till probably 11:30, basically before midnight. So you are most welcome on Wednesday. If it is possible, you are most welcome to come to the Satyanarayan Vratam and see the Vratam and then take the Prasadam. And another thing is, I don't know if I mentioned ever, if any of you actually want to come and do the Vratam also, not just be in the background and see how we do it. If you want to do it yourself also, you are most welcome. We invite people whenever we do. Another couple or maybe 2 more couples or 3 more couples sit and they also do sometimes. So I can guide how to do, and we can set up a separate kalsha, separate mantapa, separate everything, separate pitham. So most welcome to join, either as spectators or as the performers.
Wednesday evening.
Pardon me?
Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening. This Wednesday.
7 o'clock.
7:30, yeah. 7 let us say. Now which chapter in Parasara are we on?
We finished 88. I think 88 and 89 also.
88 in Santanam Vaishnava?
No, in Santana.
Okay.
We done 89 also.
87, 88 we finished, yeah. 89 also we did.
Right.
Yes, we did, I remember. Okay, so we are on chapter 90.
Work during Bhadra and other.
Oh, that is over. Now we are in Sankranti Janmashanti Adhyayam, chapter 90. Okay. Okay. So we'll do Atha Sankranti Janmashanti Adhyayam. This is in Santanam's version, this is chapter 90. This is basically remedies for birth during Sankranti. Sankranti basically means the change of sun from one sign, to another sign, from one Rashi to another Rashi. Ghora Dhvangshi Mahodaryo Manda Mandakini Tatha Mishra Charakshasi Surya Sankranti Surya Vasarat Sankranto Chanaro Jato Bhave Daridya Dukkha Bhak Santya Sukhamavapnoti Tata Santi Vidhi Bruve. So this says Ghora, Dhvangshi, Mahodari, Manda, Mandakini, Mishra, Rakshasi, These are the names of Surya Sankranti, Surya Vasarat. These are the Surya Sankranti from the starting from Surya Vasara. Surya Vasara means the weekday of sun, basically Sunday. Starting from Sunday, these are the Surya Sankrantis. So basically what he is saying is, based on the weekday at the time of Surya Sankranti, exactly at the time sun changes sign, that is basically Surya Sankranti. If you find out the weekday of that particular day, based on that particular Sankranti during that month, basically Surya takes this particular form. So these are the forms of Sankranti. These are also called Sankranti Purushas. Even though actually some of the names are Strilingas, there is a concept called Sankranti Purusha. So this is basically the description of the Sankranti, basically personification of the Sankranti. And of course from the name you can guess. Some of them are, for example, Ghora. If you say Ghora Sankranti, Ghora literally means terrible. Mishra is mixed. Rakshasi is dominant. So like this, from the names you can guess. But overall, all these are basically inauspicious.
It's a bit possible, right? Why are there on 7?
For me?
No.
It's not based on the sign in which sun is going to.
Okay.
It's the weekday on which sun shines. Yeah. For example, what is the date today? Today is August. September 3. Okay. So on September 15, roughly, approximately, sun will go to Virgo. He is in Leo right now. When he goes to Virgo on that day, if you see exactly at the time when he is changing, what is the weekday? If the weekday, let us say, is Tuesday, then what would be the Sankranti Purusha? Let us actually literally find out. Let us make today's chart new, mundane, find the, for Boston, we will find the solar new month. Next, instead of previous, I say next, and click on solar new month. So this is when sun changes sign next. September 16 at 7:24:40 p.m. That's when sun is changing sign. And if you see the degrees and minutes of sun, see he is 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, Virgo. So if you see, what is the weekday at that time?
Saturday.
In Boston? Saturday. So what is the name for Saturday? Ghora, Dhwangshi, Mahodari, Manda, Mandakini, Mishra, Rakshasi. Saturn is the last weekday allowed. So Saturday is Rakshasi. So basically that Surya Sankranti, that particular solar ingress, is known by the name Dominus. If you personify that changing of sign by sun as an inauspicious being, it is basically Rakshasi. It is Dominus. That is the nature of that particular change. And if you take the next one, the one after that, for example, if you want to do that, you have to change at the time. Instead of September 3, I will make it October 3 and do solar new month again. So we get October 17 at 7:77 or 777. 7 hours, 7 minutes, 7 seconds. At that time, sun is going to 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 0 seconds in Libra. You know what? Sun will be exactly in Lagna. It's interesting. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, during at that time, what is the? It's basically a morning 7 o'clock. Oh boy, this is actually very border case. Sun has just risen, so it says in the software it says Tuesday, but it could be Monday depending on if there is a small error in the sunrise. I don't know what definition I am using. I am using the definition. Okay, depending on whether you are in Grafton, this area, whether you are in Grafton or whether you are in Boston also, it can change. It's on the border, right? You see what I am saying? Lagna can be slightly different. So this is a border case. Let us ignore it. But let us take, for example, the next one. If you take November 3 and says next solar new month, when is the solar ingress after November 3? November 16 at 5:43:49 a.m. So on that day, sunrise is at 6:42. So this is before sunrise. So 1 hour before. So whatever software shows is accurate. So Wednesday, at that time, sun is coming to 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 0 seconds in Scorpio. It just entered Scorpio. At that time, it is a Budhvara. So because it's a Budhvara, what is the personification of Surya Sankranti? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Manda. Manda means slow, sluggish. So that is the meaning of Manda. So the nature of that particular Surya Sankranti, the personification of that particular solar ingress is sluggishness. Okay? And what is the one that we are on right now? The latest Surya Sankranti, if you want to see, make a chart for today and say previous solar new month. That was on August 16 at 7:31 p.m. in Grafton. I am making for Grafton because that is my default place. At that time, Sun has entered Leo, 0 degrees 0 minutes Leo. So what was the weekday on that particular day? Wednesday. Again is Manda. We have already seen it. So during the previous Surya Sankranti, basically the Sankranti's personification was Manda. So now
Somebody born in that time.
Somebody is born around the Sankranti time. Basically there is a dosha, and if you want to see what is the dosha, what is the nature of the dosha, who's the deity that needs to be worshipped, these are basically the nature. You can basically worship Manda. Somebody was born, let's say, on August 16. You can worship Manda. So these are the Sankranti's personifications. And the next verse says, Sankranto cha naro jato bhaved daridya dukkha bhag. If somebody is born in Sankranti, the person will have poverty and sadness. That is the person's fortune. Thyantya sukhamavapnoti tatah shanti vidhi bruve. But by doing remedy, he obtains comforts. He obtains relief. And I am going to tell you the way to do the shanti remedy. That is what Parashara is saying. And this is actually one thing that I have seen in many charts. This is actually a very important dosha. There are some other doshas which are already mentioned. Some of them practically in my experience may not be that important in some charts. But this dosha, whenever I have seen Sankranti dosha, the person has struggled a lot. And after doing the remedies, there was a marked improvement. So this is actually very important, this particular remedy, this particular dosha. So how do you find out if there is Sankranti dosha or not? Basically, there are different opinions. I will tell you different opinions. First opinion is, suppose sun changes sign at, let's say, 9 o'clock today morning. So, suppose sun changes sign at 9 o'clock today. Okay? And today is, let's say, Sunday. So when reckoning these devatas, you can look at today's weekday, like I told you. But there are some people who celebrate, for the purpose of celebrating the Sankranti, they just celebrate the very next day. Whenever at the time of sunrise, if sun has changed the sign from the previous day's sign, they celebrate that day. So if sunrise was let us say at 7 o'clock today, and at 7:30 sun changed sign, still they will celebrate tomorrow. Because tomorrow at the time of sunrise, sun is in the next sign. So they reckon the weekday also based on tomorrow. For them, Sankranti is that day. For them, it's not a point in time. It's basically a day when you celebrate an event. So from that point of view, Sankranti is on Monday in that particular case, and they use moon, etc. The other opinion is that doesn't matter. That is only for the purpose of celebrating. You want to synchronize these astrological or astronomical events with civil calendar. People just know Monday, Tuesday, today, May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, like that they know. So all their calendar is based on sunrise to sunrise. So you just, in order to synchronize with the civil calendar, you basically find the nearest approximation. But that's not, astrological purposes, that's not sufficient. So that is the other view. That is my view. So as far as I am concerned, the exact time when sun is changing, that is the real Sankranti. It's just a point in time. So you take the weekday of that thing. Now what is the importance of weekday apart from finding Devata, I will say a little later. But coming back to the point, what is the definition of being born in Sankranti? So from that point, a little away basically, a few hours within that point, if somebody is born, the person has Sankranti dosha. Whereas people holding the former view that I mentioned, which is basically the next sunrise, the next full day, civil day is the Sankranti day. So they will consider any birth during the next day to be Sankranti birth. Suppose sun change sign at 7:30 today and sunrise at 7. So tomorrow, suppose sun rises again at 7 o'clock. So from tomorrow 7 o'clock for 24 hours. That whole day will be considered the Sankranti day. That is how you celebrate Makara Sankranti and all those festivals. Of course, some people instead of sunrise they use the midday, noon. Some people even use sunset. There are different definitions in different parts of India. But the bottom line is they reckon something a 24-hour period like that and they use. But my advice is just look at sun's degrees. Is he half degree within a sign border? Is he from 29.5 degrees to 30 degrees in a sign, or from 0 degrees to half degree in a particular sign? If so, basically that is Sankrant Dosha. That is how I would reckon. Okay. So you can take some example charts. You can find somebody whose birthday is around 15.
Yes. For people who if they take the next day, depending upon
Yeah.
the cell, then sun possibly is at 1 degree plus.
That's what I am saying.
Then
In this particular example I gave, 10 o'clock sunrise, today 7:30 sun change sign. So tomorrow 7 to the day after tomorrow 7 they take. So day after tomorrow somebody is born at, let us say, 5:30 in the morning.
right.
Then his sun is almost at 2 degrees.
2 degrees.
1 degree 55 minutes or something like that. But still, according to their definition, the person is born in Sankranti day. But in my opinion, that is basically not how it is supposed to be done. That is only for celebrating. For Sankranti, you can't say, okay, 7:45, celebrate Sankranti now. It's basically, celebration is not a point. It's basically, they celebrate the whole day. They do so many events. It's all in the morning, you get up, take bath, wear new clothes. Noon, you have you prepare nice food, give it to the god, you eat it. Evening, you go to the temple, meet all your friends. So like this, the celebration is aligned with the civil day. The way you celebrate, all the customs, they are all aligned to the civil day. So naturally, they need a civil day definition. You can't say, oh, Sankranti is at 12:17 today. So for that purpose, you use that. But for the purpose of astrology, in my view, you just do this. Similarly, they say if you do Satyanarayana Vratam, for example, on a Sankranti day, it is very auspicious. Apart from the Purnima, Sankranti and Ekadashi were also mentioned by Vishnu to Narada. So if you want to do on a Sankranti day, Satyanarayana Vratam, in my opinion, if sun change sign at, let us say, 11:15 today, do it tonight. Do basically as close to it as possible. After sun sign changes the sign, the very next day. The very next night.
Special for Makar Sankranti.
Yeah, because he comes to the Makara, Rasi Makara. And Capricorn is basically each sign. When he comes to Mesha, it's called Mesh Sankranti. When he comes to Vrishbha, it's called Vrishbha Sankranti. Similarly, the sign name Sankranti. So like that, there are 12 Sankrantis. That is what he was asking earlier. Why only 7 names? Why not 12? Those are these: Mesh Sankranti, Vrishbha Sankranti, Mithra Sankranti, up to Meya Sankranti. Out of them, Makara is very important. Actually, 4 were considered very important in Mandan astrology: Mesha Sankranti, Karka Sankranti, Tula Sankranti, and Makara Sankranti. Basically, sun coming into those mobile signs. Those are particularly important Sankrantis. For example, Dr. Raman used to use these 3 Sankrantis and then make 3-month predictions based on these. These are very important. Out of these, Makara is particularly important because that is the sign of Kali Yuga. It is the most important sign in the age that we are in. So when sun comes to that particular sign, it is an important event. So what is the Santi that we have to do? Okay, before that. So one point is, you find it based on the degree of sun. Don't even look at, suppose he changes at 8:15 today. So minus 12 hours, plus 12 hours, you can do like that also. Suppose 8:15 today morning, he changed sign. So from 8:15 yesterday to 8:15 in the evening today. You can do like that.
Which one? From
8:15 a.m. today, sun change sign. So you can take birth between 8:15 p.m. last night to 8:15 p.m. tonight. This is basically the 24-hour period in which sun is basically on the border. That is one way. Another way is just look at degrees. Basically, don't define the day based on hours and minutes. Just look at degrees of sun.
If it is less than 2 degrees, 1 degree, then
Less than half degree. Between 29.5 to half. 29.5 to 30 or 0 to 30. 0 to half. 29.5 degrees to 30 degrees or 0 degrees to half degree. That is the best definition. And another view can be given that just 0 degrees to 1 degree. The first day after changing the sign. That is another possible definition. 0 degrees to 1 degree if sun is there, that is the Sankranti. Basically, Sankranti dosha starts when sun just changes sign. But that is one view. Another view is actually when he is on the verge of moving and when he has just come. Both the cases, he is basically on the border. You can consider both to be Sankranti dosha. That is the other view. So, in these matters, I am just giving various views. You can experiment. You can find what is the right thing. But to start with, my guidance would be just take 29.5 to half. That is what you can do to start with. But you can define as you go along. So, what is the shanti that you have to do? Navagrahamakham kuryat tasya doshopashantaye gruhasya purva digbhage gomayenopalipya cha. So, Navagrahamakham kuryat. That means, makham means homa. So, you have to do homa for Navagrahas, the 7 grahas. Tasya doshopashantaye. For relief from the dosha, you have to do Navagraha homam. Gruhasya purva digbhage. Purva means east. So, from the house that you are living in the eastern side. So, go to the east of the house. Outside, either maybe inside the house or probably outside the house. But bottom line is in the east. Gruhasya purva digbhage gomayenopa cha. That means, upalipya means upalayapana. Basically, you smear. Gomayam means cow dung. So basically, you smear the cow dung on that area where you are going to do the homa. Swalankrita pradeshe tu vrihi rasim prakalpayet panchadronamitam dhanyais tadadham tandulais tatha. Swalankrita pradeshe tu means Swalankrita pradeshe. Su alankrita. Basically, Swalankrita means Su alankrita. Alankrita means decorated. Su means well. So, Swalankrita pradeshe means well decorated place. So, put the cow dung and then decorate it nicely as you can. Vrihi rasim prakalpayet panchadronamitam dhanyais tadatham tandulais tatha tadatham chatilai kuryad rasim chadvijasattama pruthak tritaya rashautu likhe dashtadalam buddha. Now, what he is saying is, on that you make Vrihi Rashi. Vrihi Rashi means, it's basically a particular dhanya that you use in homas, Vrihi. It's like, in Telugu we call it Pelalu. It's basically popped corn, but not fully popped corn. It's corn that is popped just a little bit, so it just twists a little bit. That's that kind of thing. I don't know if there is an English name. In Telugu we call it Pelalu. So you put that corn basically, and then on top of it you put Panchadronamitam. He is giving some measurement. Drona is some kind of, I think in Telugu we call it sheru. Oka sheru, rendu sherlu, like that. Yeah, approximately, I'm actually very bad in these old measures. These are all old measures. If he mentioned liters or kilograms, etc., I can understand better. But this dronam is basically like sheru in Telugu. There must be some similar Hindi word.
I think it's pretty close to kilogram or something. It's of this size.
Yeah, maybe more than kilogram. This is basically a volume, not weight measure. Sheru, Ayuselu, Arselu, that we use in Telugu, that's a volume measurement, like liter, gallon. It could be close to a few liters, but maybe 5 liters, but that may be too much. So I don't exactly know what is 5 dronas, but put some basically. It's not that important. The number is not that important. Maybe you can get a small cup. You say this is my dronam, and then with that you put 5 times. So 5 dronas, that much. Dhanyam tadadham tandulais tatha. So that much dhanyam means what it means is basically rice which has that cover. Pardon me?
Paddy has a skin.
Yeah, paddy. Basically rice with that yellowish skin.
Yeah.
So put that, and then also tandula means rice which has that skin peeled off. Basically white rice, uncooked of course, white raw rice. So that, and tadadham cha tilai. Actually, you know what? Panchadrona is actually dhanya. Paddy is 5 dronas. Rice is half of that. And then tilai is even further half of that. Tadadham cha tilai kuryad rasim cha dvijasattama. Oh great Brahmana, pour all these 3 objects. They put a little bit of popcorn, slightly popcorn, and then put 5 dronas of paddy, On that put 2.5 dronas of rice, white rice. On that put 1.25 drona of tila, sesame seeds. And then mix all those, and then you have a rashi, which is basically ready to put other things on it. Pruthak tritaya rashau tu likhed ashtadalam buddha. Now spread all that and then write ashtadala padma. So like this basically, 4 and then in the middle. Okay. So you write something like this on the 8 direction. So ashtadala padma you make on that pile of vrihi, dhanja, tandula and then tila. Okay. And before I forget, there is one more point that I wanted to mention. Maybe I just waited for Srinivas for him to come in. So maybe that's why I did not mention. This is not mentioned by Parashara, but in tradition we believe that the weekday at the time of Surya Sankranti is not only important for deciding this Devata here, deciding the deity here, but it also decides what kind of problems the person will have. In other words, suppose somebody is born on Surya Sankranti day, when sun is changing sign on that day, and suppose that is a Wednesday. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. You said something else.
Manda.
Oh, Manda. Okay, right. But it's ruled by Mercury. Okay. Now, what is Mercury doing in the chart? What signs does he own and what sign does he occupy? That will be the main source of problem. The main source of
I
problem.
was going to ask actually if that would be related to Manda, means will that person be sluggish, if he is Rakshasi?
That is also possible. The names obviously have clues.
Yeah,
That also has a role. But apart from it, you look at the planet and then you look at the significations of the planet. Suppose there is the planet owns the 7th house. Then there will be problems with marriage basically. Relationships will be very bad. Marriage very, very problematic until you do the science. So that is another point that is important to note. Now coming back to the remedy that Parashara said for Sankranti dosha, and like I said earlier, this is an important dosha. This is probably the most important of all the shantis that we are talking about. I have seen it to make a lot of difference in a lot of practical cases. So when you see a chart, you always look at sun's degree. If it is too close, then you immediately conclude there is a Sankranti dosha and then advise accordingly. Yes.
when we see, is it only always in natal Rasi chart, or can we see in other divisional charts also to see how Mercury is placed, and in that
you can look at divisional charts also to see how Mercury is placed.
Not into Tithi Pravesha.
Not into Tithi Pravesha, of course not. Not into Tithi Pravesha, and also Sankranti dosha doesn't apply in Tithi Pravesha. If you see somebody's Tithi Pravesha came when sun was, let's say, at 10 minutes, 0 degree, 10 minutes in a sign. So he has just come to the sign. So you don't say there is Sankranti dosha this year, so do this Shanti. That's not necessary. This is only in the Shanti.
Particular planet.
Oh, that
particular. Is having a significance
in my view, probably not. My guess is probably not. Just natal chart. Okay, so we do the Navagraha Homam, and this arrangement has been mentioned. Kaudang and then all these dhanjas, you make a pile. And then what do? Ashtadala Padma you write on the pile of all these dhanjas, these grains. Then Punyaham vacha yitvatu acharyam vruniyat pura dharmagnam mantra tattvagnam shanti karmani kovidam. Then what you do is, you read Punyaha Vachanam. Punyaha Vachanam, for Punyaha Vachanam, normally we just read the Pavamana Suktam. So you get some Brahmins to come and read the Pavamana Suktam. So Punyaham vachi yitvatu acharyam vruniyat pura. Then select an acharya. See, the way it used to work in the old days is, if you want some Navagraha Homa or something to be done, you just call everybody. So many people just come, so many Brahmanas come, and then all of them together they just read the Punyaha Vachanam. So that Punyaha Vachanam is basically, if you read the Pavamana Suktam, if you follow the Sanskrit, you will realize that it is saying, oh, may all these Brahma come, Indra come, Rishis come, may they make all this water sacred, may they make everything here sacred. It's basically invoking upon the blessings of everybody to come, maybe not in the physical form, but maybe some other form, in the Karan Sharira form, to come there and to bless the water, to make it purer. So usually you put a kalasha and then you purify the water in the kalasha. Or you don't need anything, you just put these grains and padma, right? You can make that auspicious as well. So if you want something to be purified, you just do the punyahavacanam. So after you do the punyahavacanam, maybe there are 12 brahmanas or 8 brahmanas who read it. At the end you say, okay, today you are going to be the acharya, please help me do the homa. Then he will just come and then do it for you. Whereas today you can't take that risk. You better talk to your priest, make sure that he comes at that particular time, send a car for him. You have to do all those things today. But and also you can't expect everybody in some homa paddhatis, they expect somebody in the east, somebody in the north, basically at least in the 4 cardinal directions. Some brahmanas sitting in those directions are supposed to be reading this punyaha vachanam when he says punyaham vachayitva. Unfortunately today even finding one person is difficult, so you can't expect 4 people or 8 people sitting in all directions and reading it, so that blessings are coming from all directions. So that is what he is saying. Then you select an acharya, which you probably would have already done in this case. Dharmagnam mantra tatvagnam shanti karmaniko vidam. Somebody who knows dharma, somebody who knows the tattva of mantra. He is not just saying mantragnam, he is saying mantra tattvagnam. So not just somebody who knows the mantra, that is useless. Somebody who knows the tattva of the mantra, the nature, the inner meaning, the deeper meaning and the actual nature of the mantra. Why, what, how. So he knows everything about the mantra. Such a person you should have. Shanti karmani kovidam. And in doing all these upacharas, remedies, somebody who is an expert in that.
These are all ideal conditions.
These are all ideal conditions. You may have to relax a little bit. Okay.
Like we assume the rishis are supposed to be having the ultimate knowledge for the soul. Do the rishis feel the same way? In the sense,
feel means?
If I am a rishi, do I feel that I have the complete knowledge?
Probably not.
So who is the person other than the God himself?
Yeah. See, let me put it this way. A rishi, the most complete knowledge is that there is actually nothing to learn, nothing to know. So from that point of view, rishis have the perfect knowledge. In other words, let me put it this way. There is this world, there is this creation, which is basically an illusion. But there is certain knowledge which will help you live in this illusion. So all these upacharas, you do this upachara so that the problems you are having in your profession go away. So this is also knowledge. How to basically manipulate the maya created by her. How to basically impact the maya created by her. This is all knowledge. But perfect knowledge in this particular thing is not possible. Even rishis don't have perfect knowledge in this particular limited scope basically. But this all really doesn't matter. All her creation, this is all maya. Actually everything is Brahman. So that is the most perfect knowledge. That knowledge every Maharshi will have. He must have experienced Brahman, and whenever he wants he can remain firmly fixed in the Brahman. So that is possible. But to come back from that, knowing that it is all maya, still to interact with the maya and impact the maya, because she has willed you to do it. So you just interact with the maya knowing that it is maya. Like a water drop on a lotus. You are on the lotus but you don't touch it. So like that, he will be telling this person, you have this dosha, your son is born with Sankran dosha, so do this homa, I will come and do it for you. Like that he will be advising. But then still he knows, oh, this is all maya. Still he does it. So that way rishis have the most perfect knowledge that is gettable. But the most perfect knowledge from the limited illusion point of view, that only she has. Even Brahma, Vishnu, they don't have. Only she has. Only the Divine Mother has. So if you want to understand that the nature of this whole world, she is the one to pray to. But if you want moksha, anybody can give you moksha. Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti. Anyway, coming back to the point. So your point is very valid. So there may not be anybody who is really perfect in knowledge. So you have to, at any point of time, it is basically a compromise. So as best as you can, you do it. So you select somebody, and then Rashishu sthapayet kumbhan avranan sumanoharan tirthodakena sampurya
samrudaushadha pallavam. So he is saying, Rashishu sthapayet kumbhan. Then you establish the kumbhas in the Rashis. So he is expecting that some Rashis are laid out there. And then he is expecting those kumbhas.
Which Rashis are you talking about now? All the 12 Rashis?
Yeah. Now he's talking about 12 Rashis.
That means
Earlier he said Navagraha Makam Kuryat, right? So you have to do Navagraha Homam.
Yes.
And for Navagraha Homam, standard procedure is to have the 9 grahas in 9 kumbhas. Kumbha means kalasha. Basically parts, metallic parts of water. So you basically have 9 parts, 9 kalashas for 9 grahas and 12 kalashas for the 12 Rashis. So that is the standard procedure. So that he is talking about. So Rashishu sthapayet kumbhan avranan sumanoharan. Avranan means those that are not leaking or something. Vranam means basically a wound. So avranan means those that are unwounded. So basically they shouldn't have any pores, something leaking. Shouldn't be like that. They should, and sumanoharan, that means they should be beautiful. Tirthodakena sampurya samudaushadha pallavam. What is tirthodakam? Just water, basically good auspicious water. Tirthodakam. So earlier when we did the punyaha vachanam, maybe you had a big pot full of water and then you did the punyaha vachanam. So that water was charged with that particular energy of the Pavamana Suktam. So you are filling all these with that water. Samrud Aushadha Pallavam. What is Samrud Aushadha Pallavam?
Aushadham is medicine. Right?
Yeah.
Medical word. Medicine.
Some herbs, etc. Yeah. Pallavam. What is Pallavam? Yeah, Pallavam is actually baby leaves. Very tender leaves. Panchagavyam kshipet tatra vastra yugmena vesthayet. So, basically what we do these days is, you put a little bit of ilachi powder, you put a little bit of kesar, you know that, what is kesar? Saffron basically, the red thing. So you put a few those small pieces of saffron, you put some ilachi powder, maybe you put a little turmeric, you put a little sandalwood. So all the auspicious things you put. And he's saying aushadam, so you could put some nice herbs also. If there is a particular herb which is good for you, you can put a little bit of herbs also. But normally you only put these things. And then you put some coins these days. Parasara did not specifically saying, you can invoke the Rashi Devata or the Graha in the water itself, but if you are not happy with Jala, you want something of Prithvi Tattva, you can put a coin. So when you invoke later, in this Kalsa I invoke Mesha, in this Kalsa I invoke Rushabha, in this Kalsa I invoke Brahaspati, in this Kalsa I invoke Shukra, when you do that, basically those coins are the things in which the divinity, the corresponding divinity is being invoked. So you can use those coins later. You can distribute them to people. You can give them to people. People keep them as good luck charms, especially when they do a good homam. They keep those coins. So you can put some coins, and then you put all these things, and then pallava. So what you do is, if you have a kalasha, you fill with water, and then you put a coconut on top of it, and on the sides you put these mango leaves, right? Ideally you are supposed to put tender leaves, not very hard leaves, but we only get hard leaves, hard, old, aging leaves in US. So whatever you get basically put the leaves on the sides. So that is what he is basically talking about in Pallavam. And Panchagavyam. What is Panchagavyam? Basically, let me put it this way: all these things, there are different kinds of sand, different kinds of materials are there, different kinds of sugandha dravyas. Those are all available. But what you can do for practical purposes is, you can just get some home samagri, and then you can just put a little bit of that in the water. So basically, these are all auspicious things. As though making the water auspicious by reading the Pavamana Suktam is not enough, you are putting other material auspicious things also. So apart from material things, spiritually, from the point of view of Sukshma Sarira or Karana Sarira of that water, it is already purified. If somebody read Pavamana Suktam very, very correctly, some energy, some divine energy would have already entered the water. Apart from it, you want to also purify it materially, in a physical form also. So you are putting all these auspicious things. So you can put,
Back up a minute.
yeah.
The first one that you indicated, I got disturbed. I didn't hear.
Which
About
one?
the starting. The one I asked before. Rashishu.
Sthapayet Kumbhan.
Ante, akkada you said about the Navagraha Homam, we did 9 planets.
Yeah.
But where is the 12 coming from?
Oh, it's a standard thing. Because he already said Navagraha Homam, he is assuming that you know about Navagraha Homam. In Navagraha Homam, you establish 12 kalashas for the 9 kalashas for the 9 planets, and then 12 kalashas for the 12 signs. And sometimes you even establish 28 more kalashas for the 28 nakshatra devatas.
So we do all of them in Navagraha Homam?
Yeah, we do all of them. Nakshatras, some people don't do, but at least Rashis and Grahas, some people do. And actually, if you are interested, we haven't fixed the date yet, but I told you that there is Chandi Homam next, from this Friday to Thursday, 10 homas in 7 days. So weekend, I told you, you weren't there, but from Friday to Thursday, we are going to do 10 Chandi homas in my house. Not like the one we had last year, but small scale. This is basically like finishing what I did earlier, 108 Chandi Pathas. So just to finish that, we are going to have 10 homas. Saturday and Sunday there will be 5 homas. All in all, 2 one day, 3 one day. And you are all most welcome. Every day we start around 7:30 and go on till 3 hours, around 3.5 hours. So you are most welcome. So coming back to this, why did I say that? Navagraha Homam. So we haven't fixed the date. But before Swami Sadashivam goes back to Chennai, sometime in September-October time frame, we are thinking of doing one Navagraha Homam, one elaborate Navagraha Homam. Last year in my home we did. We had the 28 kalashas, 28 nakshatras, like in the Saratobhadra Chakra. So 28 kalashas for the nakshatras, we invoke each nakshatra devata in that. All the mantras that we read in the class until now, we'll finish next week basically. Those mantras. So you can read those mantras, invoke all the devatas, invoke the 12 Rashi devatas, and then 9 Navagraha devatas. So you have all these kalashas, and then you do homa. You do the mantra of each graha. Again, the mantras that we have been doing in the class. There are some more mantras, but these are the authentic Veda mantras. Others came later. These are the most important. So you do all those, and you offer the corresponding material in the homa to each graha. So that we are planning to do in a very elaborate way. We haven't decided when to do, how to do. We'll probably just do one day, or probably it will be a 10-11 day thing, where one day we'll do one graha, another day another graha. Not the homa, but just dhyanam. We'll just do the invocation, and then the mantra we can just repeat. We can just do japam of the Surya, Chandra, Kuja, all those mantras. We'll probably do for a period of 10 days. Every day basically from 7 to 11, just keep doing that mantra as many times as you can. If several people are there, the count can be higher. Parashara actually recommends. We haven't done that chapter, but there is a chapter on Navagraha Shanti, Navagraha Homam. In that chapter, he gives counts. How many times to do each grahas, how to do Graha Shanti. So here, we haven't done that chapter, but I believe it is chapter 84 in Santanam version. If you see that chapter, I just want to quickly mention this point. When you do Graha Shanti, lot of people do the mantra of the Graha, either for sun, for example, it is, the mantra is Krishna Narajasa Vartamano, that mantra. Suppose it is moon, Apya Swasame Tute, that mantra. For Mars it is Akmir Mordha Deva Kakutpade Srothevya Ayam, that mantra. So what people do is, instead of that mantra, they just do some other mantra also. Like, there are the Vidmehe Dhimahi mantras. They do those mantras. Or they just do, some people just do Japa Gusma Sankasam Kasvaya Mahajidin Tamorin Sarfavagnam Pratos Divakram. That's for fun. So basically there is a shloka for Navagrahas written by Vyasa. They take one verse each and then they do. But whatever they do, the count, what they do is, for Surya, they do 6,000 times. Because Sun's Vimshotri Dasha is 6 years. Moon's Vimshotri Dasha is 10 years. So they do 10,000 times. Mars is 7 years. So they do 7,000 years. But it does seem to be a latter day invention. Something that came about in the last few hundred or thousand years. Because Parashara does not mention. And also if you look at it logically, Vimshotri is not the only Dasha. If you use Visaptarisam Dasha, or if you use some other Dasha, Ashtotri Dasha, the numbers are all different. So it is not very logical to, or you may say some Dashas don't have all the 9 planets. But there are Dashas that you have all the 9 planets. And those numbers are different from Vimshotri numbers. Why not use those numbers? So Parasara does not ever mention the Vimshyotri Dasha numbers. He mentions totally different numbers. 7,000 for Sun, for Moon 11,000, for Mercury 9,000, Jupiter 19,000, Venus 16,000, Saturn 23,000, Rahu 18,000, Ketu 17,000. We don't even know how these numbers came about from. What is the basis for these numbers? But these are the numbers given by Parasara. So, if you are getting a Shanti.
While you are running this, can you just mention the other years for as for Vimshyotri for Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn?
Pardon me?
Can you repeat the number of years?
These are not number of years
Not number of
actually.
years.
These are just
These
counts
count,
recommended
count.
for Homam.
Yeah, not
Homam or Dhyanam.
I mean the count for other planets like Mercury, Jupiter, Venus,
Yeah.
Saturn.
Sun is 7,000.
Hmm.
Sun is 7,000. Moon is...
As for Vimshyotri, that's what the...
No, Vimshyotri, Sun is 6.
Sun is
Please,
six.
sir.
Yeah, and I got it.
Yeah.
The other things as for Vimshyotri.
Other?
Other counts as per
Oh, Vimshyotri, why do you want to know? I'm saying they are useless. Why do you want to know?
Oh, they are useless totally.
I'm saying they are useless. It is definitely somebody's invention. You have to come up with some number so that you can do. And if you just do 11,000 or 10,000 for everybody, it's not good. You have to, basically, you have to go to somebody to ask, how many should I do? So basically some knowledge has to be created so that somebody can own the knowledge. So the knowledge has been created based on astrology.
That you can get in the chapter.
You can get from the Vimshyotri Dasha years. Sun 6,000, Moon 10,000. Just look at the number of years in the Vimshyotri Dasha, put 1,000 in front of it. So that is what many people do. Today actually almost everyone I know who does Shanti for a particular graha. Suppose you have Ketu problem. They say you have to do Ketu Shanti. So some Ketu mantra they select. Hopefully the Veda mantra or maybe some other mantra. But whatever it is, they do 7,000 times. Whereas according to Parasara, it is 17,000 times that you have to do. So assuming that there is some significance to the numbers, use the numbers given by Parasara instead of Vimshyotri numbers. So, and the mantras also he suggests some specific mantras. And almost all these mantras are what we use nowadays, except for Moon and Venus. For Moon we use Apyaya Om Apyaya Svasametute Vishvataswa Mavrushniyam Bhavavajasya Sangathe. That mantra we use today. But he said there is some mantra called Imam Deva Asapatnam. I don't know exactly what it is. If any of you can actually, you guys or those who are listening to the audio, if you have access to any good priest, if you can find out, it must be a well-known mantra from some Veda. So Imam Deva Asapatnam. If you find out the Moon mantra which goes as Imam Deva Asapatnam, and also Shukra mantra which goes as Annat Parishruto Rasam. If you can find out, that will be excellent. That will be very helpful to us for the homam that I want to do. So for Shukra, Annat Parishruto Rasam. For Moon, Imam Deva Asapatnam. So find out those mantras. Apart from those, other mantras given by Parasara are the same as what we do today. So we can just do them. So these mantras you do these many times. For example, the biggest count is for Saturn, 23,000 times.
You want to find out for which one?
Moon and Venus, Imam Deva Asapatnam. A mantra for Moon which starts as Imam Deva Asapatnam from some Veda. It is a Veda mantra. For Ketu, not Ketu, for Venus, Annat Parishruto Rasam. Annat Parishruto Rasam. If somebody can find out these mantras and send them to me along with the swaram, the ups and downs. Or if you tell me Rigveda, so-and-so mandala, so-and-so adhyaya, I can find out the swaram.
The Sanskrit scholar who wrote the book I gave you,
Yeah.
Parasara Madhavi,
Yeah.
he's here in New Jersey now.
Okay.
So I'm planning to invite him here to
Okay.
sometime next month.
Yeah. If you can
So
find
when
out,
I come, I can find out.
if you can find out which Veda it is from, which mandala, which adhyaya, what is the number, or the mantra itself with the swara mark, ups and downs, excellent. You can use that then. Okay, so anyway, what I was saying was we were actually planning to do. So to do 23,000 times just with 2 or 3 people is not difficult. We basically have a priest and me. So if each of us spends 4 hours, still it's a small count that we can do. But if other people can join and can recite, we can probably reach the count. But we will probably, whatever we can do, we will do each day one graha, and some weekend day we will probably just invoke everybody and then do maybe one mala everything, 108 times or a couple of malas. So that's what we are planning. So if any of you are interested in seeing the Navagraha home in an elaborate way, you are most welcome. I will send an invitation like that once the dates are formed up. So anyway, coming back to this point, so that is what he is saying, Rashi is top here. So you put the Rashi. Normally what we do is, we put Mesha, Vrishbha, just like in the South Indian chart, Mesha, Vrishbha, Mithna, like that we arrange. And then he is saying, put all these auspicious materials in the water, in the kalsa, and then normally we put a coconut on top of it. And then he is saying, Vastra Yugmena Veshtayet. That means, wrap it with a pair of clothes. So basically on the coconut you put one cloth, and around the kalsa you wrap one cloth. Basically like a pant and shirt, or shorts and t-shirt, something like that. So basically a pair of clothes, one upper and one bottom. Pratimam sthapayet tatra sadhi pratyaside aidevatam. Pratimam sthapayet tatra. And then he is saying, Pratimam, that means an idol. An idol should be put there. Sadhi pratyasidevatam. Sa adhi pratyasidevatam. That means along with the Adidevatas and Pratyasidevatas, the put a Pratima. So basically, which Devata are we talking about here? We are talking about the Sankranti Devata. The Manda, Mandakini, Ghora, Dhvangshi, that Devata, Mahodari. We found out the 7 Devatas, right? Based on the weekday at the time of Tir Sankranti, we have 7 Devatas. So find the Devata. Suppose somebody was born in Manda Sankranti. So take Manda. So an idol of Manda you should make. So if you don't have a specific idol, just some idol, just imagine that is Manda. So put an idol, and Adhidevata and Pratyasidevata on both the sides basically. Those have to be Chandra, Surya and Chandra. And it specifically says Chandra Aditya Kruti Parshve Madhya. No, it says Surya Chandra Adhidevam Bhavet Surya Chandra Pratyasidevatam. So Adhidevata is Surya. So when Adhidevata is usually on the right hand side, and Pratyasidevata is on the left hand side. So what you do is from the Devata, on the right hand side of the Devata, you put Surya and Chandra on the other side. Chandraditya Kruti Parshve Madhye Sankranti Mached. It again says Chandra and Aditya, their shapes, Akruti means shapes. So they are idols basically in the sides, and in the middle Sankranti. Pratimam Pujane Purvam Vastra Yugmam Nivedayet. So it says Pratimam Pujane Purvam. What does it mean?
For the puja.
Yeah. First do the puja. Vastra Yugmam Nivedayet. Give them a pair of clothes. Give the Devata a pair of clothes. Tato Vyahriti Purvena Tattan Mantrena Pujayet. Then along with the ahutis, along with the basically now pouring the ghee in the homa. So now it's saying, it's suggesting that you do your Agnimukham, whatever procedure you do, invoking the fire, invoking all that you do now. After the archana in the idols, then in front of the idol you make the homakundam and invoke them in the homakundam. And then you do the Vyahriti Purvena Tattan Mantrena Pujayet. With the corresponding mantras, do the puja. Trayambakena Mantrena Pradhana Pratimam Pujayet. Oh, probably it is Yajet, not Pujayet, Puyajet. My version says Puyajet, but Chandas is broken. Probably Tato Vyahriti Purvena Tattan Mantrena. No, not that one. Trayambakena Mantrena Pradhana Pratimam Yajet. So the mantra, for Surya and Chandra we have the mantra, Graha mantra. We use them. For the middle Sankranti Devata, use the Trayambakam Yajamahe mantra. That is what he is saying. Utsurya iti mantrena Surya Pujam Samacharet. Apya Yasveti mantrena Chandra Pujam Samacharet. So there is a mantra called Utsurya, Samveda mantra. So that you use for Surya. Maybe do a mala or 1,000 times depending on your patience and depending on the materials you have. And Apya is Samezate, that mantra for Chandra. Upacharai Shodasabhiryatva Panchopacharakai. Either Shodasopachara Puja, do the Shodasopachara Puja. You give Dhyanam, Asanam, Pajyam, Arghyam, Achamniyam, Snanam, all those things, Vastram, Yajnovidam. So do all those 16 services, or just Panchopacharas. Just do 5 upacharas. But the thing is, we compromise everywhere, so at least here, this is a simple thing to do. At least do Shodasopachara Puja, not only Panchopacharas. So Shodasopachara Puja you do you do Yajana, Homa, Yajana in the fire, you offer the Ahuti. What exactly to offer he hasn't mentioned. So let's assume for now until he clarifies that he you offer. So you offer in the fire with these mantras, and then you do Shodasopachara Puja. Mrityunjayena mantrena pradhana pratimam sprusan. Mrityunjaya mantra, while reading it, touch the pradhana pratima, the main idol. You have to touch it while saying Mrityunjaya mantra. Chambakam Yajamahe. Ashtottara sahasram vap yashtottara satam japet. And he is saying, while touching it, touching the idol, you do either 1008 times or 108 times Mrityunjaya mantra. So Yambakam Yajamahe, you are supposed to do 108 or 1008 times while touching the idol. This is after offering in the homa, offering the mantra to the fire. Now you have to offer to the idol also, apart from the fire, separately. Normally in homas we offer to both together. We put on, we do kumbho, you say kumbho, murto, agno, in the kalasha, in the murti, in the agni, everywhere you do avahana. You send the gods from your hridaya into all of them, and then you do puja to all of them together. But here he is specifically saying first to the fire and then also to the idol. Athashtavinchati vimbapi japen mantram sasaktitah. I won't translate it because then people will end up doing that. He is saying either 1008 times or 108 times or at least 28 times. Don't ask me what if I can't do it even 28 times.
Then you do whatever you can.
Sasaktitah. Then he is saying based on your ability. Kumbhebhyah paschime dese thandilagnim prakalpayet. So he is saying, actually this it's not Ajay. Trambakena Mantrena also was Puja probably. There is some other mistake. Basically so far he is talking about the puja. He didn't say how to do the homa. Now he is mentioning how to do the homa. Kumbhebhyah paschime dese. So you had all these kumbhas where you had the Rashi Devatas, then Sankranti, Navagrahas, and then Sankranti Devata along with the Devata, Pratyaya Devata, Surya and Chandra. Now what he is saying is, in the western side, from all the kalachas, Thandile Agnim Kalpayet. Then you put your homakundam and you put the fire. So now you are supposed to do the fire. So earlier it wasn't Yajay, it was Puja. So all the Saraswatya Puja etc. you do first and then you do the Agni. Svagruhyokta vidhanena karayet sanskritanalam. So you, sanskritanalam means you do the agrikarma. Well done Agni you do based on whatever secret methods you may have been taught. So using whatever procedure you use, because there are so many procedures to do Agni Mukham. You want to offer something to God through Agni, so many different procedures are there. You can use Vaidikam, you can use Tantrikam. Within Tantrikam there are so many different tantras from different types. So you can use whatever you are comfortable with.
But this one is mentioned about it on the western side of the
Kalasa. Yeah.
All the Kalasa.
All the Kalasa. So you have this area where you have all the Kalasa. So on the west, come west from that and then put. Trayambakena mantrena samidajya charun hunet ashtottara sahasram va ashtottara satam yatha ashtavinchati mevapi kuryad homam susaktitah mrityunjayena mantrena tila homasya karayet. Okay. So he is saying with the Triambaka mantra, Samida, that is basically twigs, wood twigs. Ajya, what is Ajya? Ghee, clarified butter, and then Charu means cooked food. So basically like payasam, something like payasam or something you can make. So cooked food, ghee, and then wood. So you give them with the Triambakam mantra, Ashtod either 1008 times or 108 times or 28 times. Based on your ability, do the homam. Mrityunjayena mantrena tilahomasya karayet. Also with the Mrityunjaya mantra you do tilahomam. So you offer sesame seeds also when you do Mrityunjaya mantra. Tatah svishtakrutam hutva abhishekam chakarayet. Then you do the svishtakrutam. Svishtakrutam means you basically there are some procedures in the Uttarangam. For example, you say Agnaye, Svishtakrutam Namama. So you basically pray to Agni for making everything svishtam. What is svishtam? Ishtam means something that has been offered to the gods. Svishtam means su ishtam svishtam. So something that has been well done, something he has cooked it properly, he has processed it properly so that gods have something nice to. What you offer may not be in the nice form, but Agni, he is the Svishtakrut. He is the one who makes it proper so that gods can actually consume it. So you basically do all those procedures, and if you want you can do Jayadi Homam, all those things also. Normally at the end of the Homam you do those. He did not specifically mention Jayadi Homam and then Anagnatadi Prashchita Homam, all those standard things you can do, and then Brahmanan Bhojayet, Abhishekam Karayet, then do the Abhishekam. So with all the kalashas that you use for the grahas, for the rashis, get all the kalashas, use all the water, and then pour it on the people involved, on the person with the dosha, maybe his family members. So usually priests do it at the end. They just take the kalashas and then do the abhishekam. Brahmanan bhojayet paschad evam shantim avapnuyat, and then feed brahmanas, then you get shanti. So bottom line is you do Navagraha Homam, and then you invoke the Rashis, Grahas. Now he did not specifically mention, but the fact that you have the Rashis, that means that basically suggests that you can do Rashis, you can pray to Rashis also. You can say Om Ashaya Swaha, Om Ashaya Swaha, maybe 11 times, 21 times, 108 times, Om Vrishabhaya Swaha, Om Vrishabhaya Swaha, you can offer. For example, when we did Navagraha Home at my home last year, we offered to all the Rashis. We offered Om Rashi Chakraya Swaha, Om Navamsa Chakraya Swaha, Om. We personified everything. Dashamsa Chakraya Swaha, Drashkan Chakraya Swaha. We offered to all the chakras. We offered to all the Rashis. We offered to all the Panchanga elements. Advaraya, Bhanvasraya Swaha, Somvasraya Swaha, like that all the Varas. Then we did for all the Tithis. The Pratipad, Ditya, Titiya, all the Tithya Swaha, like that, Prathama Tithya Swaha, Ditya Tithya Swaha, like that for all the Tithis we offered. All the yogas, 27 yogas are there. So we offered to so-and-so yoga Swaha, so-and-so yoga Swaha. We offered just one ahuti for each. We offered to all the Karnas. We have Bhavakarna, Bharavakarna, all these, Vishtikarna. So Karna Swaha, each Karna we offered. Then we offered all the years that we have, Prabha Vibha, all those 60 years. All the months, the solar months, Meshamasaya Swaha, Vrishamasaya Swaha, all the lunar months you have, Ashvedamasaya Swaha, Kartikamasaya Swaha, like that for each month we offered. I don't remember what all we did, but we did lot of things. Everything that we could. I just got my book, looked at the introductory chapter, so Nakshatras, all the 27 Nakshatras, again we offered to the Nakshatras, then we, like that we basically offered to everything conceivable. So you can personify everything. That is basically the crux of Hinduism. Everything is personified. So you can personify, because everything has a soul, everything has a Karan Sharira, everything that you talk about. So you can personify various aspects relating to grahas, relating to astrology. You can just offer, if based on the time that you have, you can offer as many ahutis as you can to all those.
But that will mean you have personified and
you are making them happy.
The, offering to all of them which have a good agenda or a bad agenda. It
doesn't matter. Rashis and Grahas also, when you do Navagraha Home, you don't care about their agenda.
Grahas and even in yoga.
At the time of Homa, it's not like, oh son, you are so nice in my chart, I will give you nice food.
Okay.
Mars, you are bad to me, you are giving me so many problems. Go away. It's not like that.
It's not like Agni is transferring everything into the common food.
It's not, that's not how Homa works. In Homa, you play a good host to everybody, you feed everybody. If they are happy, the one who is already good to you will be even better to you. The one who is bad to you may be a little bit better to you. That is the idea. But you shouldn't really care. You just do. Just do as a dharma. Don't do it with any pratipalapeksha.
And one more question in this.
Yeah.
It's good. We now went through a couple of several remedies.
Yeah.
Few remedies what we went through in the last few classes.
Yeah.
But each of this is a basic question to me. As we indicated in the last paragraph here, it says do this and put the kalasha like this, do this and X, Y, Z, all this detail.
Yeah.
But in practical sense, I am not knowledgeable to do all this.
Yeah.
So I will end up calling the priest.
Yeah.
So I cannot dictate, because when I
You
call
can.
him,
Why
I
not?
cannot dictate
Why
to
not?
tell him.
Why not? You can dictate in a humble way. You can't. You may not dictate, but you said I want it to be done using this procedure. If you have a priest who's basically flexible and who can listen to you. You say this is what Parashara said, I want to do like this, can you please do? There may be a priest who will say, "No, this is all nonsense. I know how to do it. I'll do it," and then he
Because
may
that
take
is
over.
how most things possibly might work.
But
because
I have seen many priests who are not like that. It's not like they learn everything. They basically learn the format, and then you fill in details in the format. So if you give the details, they will do.
They'll fill in the
For example, when we did the Navagraha Homam, the priest that I called, he put 27 nakshatras in some way, just randomly basically there was a square shape. Inside there were rasis, grahas. So around it he just placed all the nakshatras, no specific order or nothing. And not balanced also, because 27 on 4 sides. I went and humbly suggested to him, just thought came to me, why only 27? Abhijit also can be included, and in the Nakshatra Suktam all the 28 are there. Why don't we include Abhijit? And also, why don't we, instead of arranging in random order, put Kritika there, and then this is east. Basically in the Saratobhata Chakram, they say this is east, this is west, if you look at the software.
Yeah.
Now why did they do it? Why do we care about east, northeast, etc. there? We don't really care, right?
possibly they have a significance.
There is a significance, probably. Maybe you can use this arrangement facing those things in the east. So you put Kritika, Rohini. So like that I suggested. Instead of 27, let us put 28 and also 7 here, 7 here, 7 here, 7 here, and this will be Kritika, this will be Rohini. We start with Kritika, when we do Avahana, 2 till Bharani. So he said, yeah, that's a very good idea, we'll do it. So there are people who are flexible like that. Or you show, Parashara says, you are saying we'll do so and so thing, but Parashara said this, can we please do like this? If you have a priest who thinks he knows everything and who is stubborn, probably you don't have the right priest. If you show something written by a Maharshi and request him to follow that, if he cannot do that, don't insult him, let it do it, but maybe you didn't get the right priest. If you get the right priest, and if you show him some text from Parashara and say this is how he wanted to do, can you please do this way? See, he is not dictating all the terms. He is not like, okay, step 2, take the water and put it here. Step 3, take 3 spoons and pour it. He is not doing like that. It's not steps. Basically, the basic format has been given by Parashara. All the other things, for example, how do you want to do the Agnimukham? Do you want to do Paridhi or not? How do you want to do Paridhi? Whether you want to put Varuna and Brahma, when you do the Kalasham, you want to put small parts of water and put Varuna and Brahma as the gods for the Homam. All those, so many details. All those you are just leaving it to the priest. Parashara is not messing with that. He is saying whatever method you know to do the Agni Karyam, do it. So, all you are saying is I want these Kalashas and in this order, I want this Pratima, I want sun and moon in the other side, I want this mantra to be done. He may do some other mantra, but I want these mantras to be done these many times. So, he should be able to do. So, try to get a priest who can do like that. And the thing is, even if you don't, if somebody comes and does based on whatever he believes in, you may still get some result. Doing is the most important thing. Yeah. Yeah.
When we are looking at the Siddhi Pravesha,
Yeah.
I looked at my Siddhi Pravesha for last year, 2005 and 2006.
Okay.
The last phase, last Dasha period overlaps.
Mm-hmm.
So during that, say, I think in my case, I will last.
Okay.
And that is what it starts again this year.
Mm-hmm.
So the agenda for that Venus during that Dasha period, whatever the agenda for that planet is, because the Lagna is different for last TP and this TP.
Yeah.
So the agenda of that changes. So how does it match with?
It changes on your Siddhi Pravesha day. So suppose your Siddhi Pravesha was...
No, but there is an overlap of the same period.
It's not called overlap. Okay, let me show you. Okay, what is your data?
You have it, right?
Because software doesn't end the Tithi exactly when the Tithi Pravesh basically stops being effective. That is the problem. 1 second. Seshu Putsa.
So I went
This again went into the slow mode.
TP of 2005
Okay.
and then go to Tithi Astotri. Last
So 2005 Tithi Pravesh is on September 10, right? September 10, 2005.
September 10, 2005.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the Tithi Ashtotri Dasha,
It is Venus from 6/24 to 9.
June 24 till September 2, it is Venus Dasha.
Yes.
But it's not until September 2. Before that, the next year's Tithi Pravesh may come, right?
No, but as per, if I look at this, until September 1,
Yeah,
from June 24, I am running a Venus Dasha.
right?
But if I, and Venus in this particular case happens to be,
Okay, whatever he happens to
whatever
be,
he
he is
happens
that.
to be, he is.
Now, if you see the next year chart, right, that's what you are basically
No,
asking.
when I said whatever happens to be, he is X house's Lord. He
Right,
is
right,
Lord.
right, right. Okay, he has certain agenda in this chart. He will give the results from June 24 till September 2nd,
As per that agenda.
as per that year. Now, let us see the next year's chart.
2006
Yeah,
And go to previous February.
yeah.
It is June 24 to September.
So, August 30 itself, it is changing, okay?
It is changing on August 30.
Yeah, and the Dasha starts in June 24.
Hmm.
June 24 to September 2. But this year's chart becomes effective on August 30. So, this Venus data that you are talking about in this year's chart, that is from August 30 to September 2. Basically, towards the end you will catch it. If you look at this Venus Dasha, which is from June 24 to September 2, the last Antardasha probably, Venus Antardasha, that is what you will be running. Just like at the time of birth, if you are Jupiter Dasha, many Antardashas in Jupiter Dasha may have been over. You may be in Jupiter Mars when you are born, and then Jupiter Rahu, and then done Jupiter. Again, at the end of your life, again Jupiter Dasha may come. Then all the previous Antardashas in Jupiter Dasha will come, right? Like that, the previous Antardashas in Venus Dasha will come at the end of the year. So when you started this year, this entire Venus Dasha is not there. It is there only from August 30.
August 30 to September.
September 2nd. And previous year we saw from June 24 to September 2nd was Venus Dasha, right? But it won't work till September 2nd. On August 30 it will end, because that Tithi Pravesh chart is valid only till August 30. When a new Tithi Pravesh is cast next year, when your birthday again comes, the previous year's chart is void. It's like a check that has basically been voided now. It's basically expired. So that chart no longer effective.
So I should see the agenda of the of this year.
Yeah, if you want to see what are the results from August 30 to September 2,
Use this.
use what is Venus agenda in this year's chart.
Okay.
Okay, here is just 2 days, so you can just ignore. But sometimes it is half the Dasha is over, half the Dasha is left. In that case, you have to see the Tithi Pravesh date. From that date onwards, this particular agenda will commence. Okay, so it's not like an overlap. Though the software shows from June 24, even in natal chart, suppose you are born in 69 June, when you look at Vimshodri Dasha, it may say it started in 60. Because if you consider the whole Dasha, it started in 60, but 9 years are already over. So when you are born, you are in the middle of that Dasha. The Antardashas that are already over also software shows. Maybe I can gray them or do something, but right now it just shows everything, assuming that it's the full Dasha. It doesn't take into consideration when the year started and when the year ended. You have to add that information to see which part of the Dasha is valid with this particular chart. Okay. Okay. Now, do you guys have any other questions? Not just on remedies, but anything, because we can take one example now in the next half hour.
That whatever Pluto, you had some email from him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That shouldn't affect, right?
That
Whatever
shouldn't affect. Don't worry. And if you are thinking of using Pluto, see, let me show you. Actually, I will not show you. If you look at the magnitudes of the planets, Mercury, Venus, they are all small, but they are very close to us. And if you look at Jupiter, suppose this is Jupiter. You look at my hand. He is basically, let's say, he is the size of basketball. Saturn is also about the same size. And then if you look at Uranus, he is small. He is basically like smaller than a tennis ball. So compared to Saturn, Uranus is so small, and his distance is twice as much as Saturn. Saturn himself is so far away from us, but because he is so big, he has impact. Uranus is so far away, so small. It's not really logical, assuming that the gravitation and other things have something to do with the impact, not something else. Even assuming that material assumption, he is so far away, so small. His impact is bound to be so small. If you find the gravitational force on us through Saturn, through Jupiter, etc., his distance is twice. So there itself 1/4. And then his weight, if you look at it, it is, I don't know exactly what, but it is probably 1/10 or something like that, very small. So you are talking about 1 over 50 or 1 over 100 time impact. So he is basically negligible. And Pluto is like a joke, because if Saturn is this much and Uranus is this much, Pluto is like a dot if you look at the size. And he is so far away. He is like 5 times, 10 times far away. So his impact is like, in terms of gravitation, 1 over 1000 or 1 over 10,000 times compared to Saturn. So it's a joke to even think that Pluto can impact us, assuming that material things matter. Now the thing is, it's not just a matter of material gravitation, etc. We don't exactly know how planets impact us. It may not be gravitation, there may be something else. So like I said in the mail, which all of you must have got, it's not just a matter of looking at telescope and saying, okay, that guy impacts us. There is more to it, and let us just follow rishis, because they could actually merge their consciousness with the consciousness of any being in the universe. So they understood exactly what each being was up to, what was the plan of the Divine Mother who created this universe for various beings of this universe, various entities of this universe. They understood it perfectly. So let us just go by their words and use up to Saturn. There are all indications that they knew about Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, but they chose not to use in astrology. So let us just stick to our 9 planets.
So for our all history database is only 9 planets, right?
Yeah. For us only 9. We don't even call them planets. We call them grahas. And like I said in my mail, graha means that which holds, grasps, that which captures. So these are basically consciousnesses which are floating in the universe, which can grasp your consciousness. Suppose Mars is impacting you, his dasha is running. The consciousness of Mars is basically catching hold of your consciousness and making you angry or making you something. Something is happening to your consciousness, because that consciousness is playing with your consciousness. Maybe not physically, maybe Mars doesn't come to you physically and hold you, but his Karan Sharira is impacting your Karan Sharira, and all this is at the Karan Sharira level, all the impacts of planets. And Rahu, Ketu don't even exist physically, but they have a consciousness. They are basically, if this is Earth's orbit around Sun, Moon's orbit around Sun is a different plane, and these two planes basically intersect at those points. Those are Rahu, Ketu. So we call them Chaya Grahas, shadow planets, because they decide how the shadow is cast. They are not really any objects, physical objects that have certain weight. They have no weight, they can't be seen, they have no gravitation, they are just abstract points, abstract mathematical points, but they have a consciousness of their own, and that consciousness has a very significant impact on us. That is what rishis found, and they used those two beings, Rahu and Ketu, in charts. Moon is not even a planet, we use him, we call him a graha. Surya is not a planet, we call him graha. This is the other thing. Some people say, oh, Sun is not a planet, he is a star. You guys don't know, you just use him in your calculations. It's not about planet. The word planet, whether somebody is considered a planet or subplanet or satellite or some other name they come up with tomorrow, we don't care. It doesn't really matter. It's not about that. It's totally immaterial. So Pluto don't use. Uranus, Neptune also don't use. There are people who use them. When you use them, the next question is, where are they exalted, where are they debilitated, what are their own signs? So there are people who are very creative and come up with all these things. And then they come up with results. If Pluto is with Sun, these are the results. If Pluto is with Venus, these are the results. The thing is, if you are creative, you can create things. But it will die after you. If you are a rishi, it can stay long after you, because you don't create. You just, something that's already there, you just understand. The thing is, most of these people just create. So their creation is very, very simplistic. So ignore Pluto. It's very good that scientists now don't call Pluto a planet. Hopefully one day they will realize that Uranus and Neptune are also not worthy of being planets. Any other questions? Okay, any charts? Any interesting charts?
With Sun in Capricorn, 1 degree and 31 seconds.
1 degree 31 seconds, okay, that's not Sankrant Dosha. It's not Sankrant Dosha. Do you know anybody who is born around 15, 16, 17? Then you probably have an example of Sankrant Dosha.
Oh, my daughter 14th.
Pardon me?
My daughter 14th August.
Okay, give me the date, time, place.
14th August.
1 second. 14th?
August.
Yeah.
2002.
2002.
8:57
Yeah.
a.m.
Okay, what place?
Blue Hill.
Can you just repeat the date again?
Yeah, I'll repeat.
Yeah.
August 14, 2002, 8:57 a.m., 4 hours west of GMT, Lowell, Massachusetts, 71 degrees 19 minutes west, 42 degrees 38 minutes north, and it doesn't really matter. Because the data doesn't matter because there is no Sankrant Dosham.
Why
The
you
sun.
say that?
Sun is at 27 degrees 41 minutes.
20.
Sun is in Gandanta, that is there. But as far as Sankrant Dosham is concerned,
Can you put that in North Indian style?
you don't care about chart anyway.
Yeah.
Just look at this. Look at the degrees of sun. That is what you care about here. So, sun is in Cancer, right? Sun is in the 11th house Cancer. He is in the last degree of Cancer. I mean, not last degree, last Navamsha of Cancer. So there is Gandanta dosha for sun. Sun is in Gandanta. It's not very auspicious. Sun has some problem. But he is in the 28th degree. He is 2 degrees 20 minutes away, roughly basically 2.5 degrees away from Sankranti. So Sankranti was basically on August 16, 17 time frame. So she is fine. There is no Sankrant Dosham. But if you see, when you see this degree, if it is either between 29.5 degrees and 30 degrees, or between 0 degrees and half degree, then you say sun is too close to a border. Right around the sun's change of sign, this person was born. Then you say there is Sankrant Dosham. And assuming there is Sankrant Dosham, what you do is find what weekday. This is Wednesday. So, and the thing is actually, what is important is not the weekday of birth. The weekday when Sankranti happened is the important thing. Okay? See what I am saying? Suppose Sankranti happened, let us say, at 11:30 p.m. tonight. Tonight 11:30, sun change sign. And let us say tomorrow at 7 somebody is born. So that is very close to Sankranti. So there will be Sankranti Dosham. The person will be born on Monday, but the Sankranti happened on a Sunday. So actually, when you do the Sankranti Dosham, look at Sunday, look at sun. What houses sun wants?
You can see my chart, September 16.
You have Sankrant Dosham?
I don't know, I'm just looking at it.
You want me to find out if you have Sankrant Dosham? You don't look like somebody with Sankrant Dosham.
As per the definition, it looks like
Then you have Sankrant Dosham? Okay.
29 VO 56.
Yes, you have Sankrant Dosham. My God.
Where is it?
29 VO 56.
2955.
You have Sankrant Dosham.
Okay.
You have Sankrant Dosham. You are born just before Sankranti.
That is the 2956 is the.
Yeah, 29 degrees 56 minutes in Leo. So the data is September 16, 1961, 2:22 p.m. Indian Standard Time, Secunderabad, India. 78 degrees 30 minutes east, 17 degrees 27 minutes north.
You must have done Shanti.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Your parents, if they did some Shanti, it is good.
If they did not, now I can go to Parasara.
Yeah. you can do it. So what is the, first of all, what house does sun own?
Saturday. No, you want to also look at
It's
it.
not Saturday.
No, the Vedic
Saturday.
Saturday. So
It's a Saturday.
corresponding to this is Rakshasi,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know exactly what time, but you can find out. See, click on sun. When will sun change in Rasi? Change sign in Rasi? 1 hour 40 minutes later. So it's still, he was born at 4:30. Another 1.5 hours is still Saturday. So Sankranti happens on Saturday. So what is the Devata?
Rakshasi.
Rakshasi. So Rakshasi is Sankranti. He was born.
The qualities.
Oh, that's okay. He was born around a Rakshasi Sankranti. So he has Sankrant Dosham in his chart. And what house does sun own?
But one indicator, some few minutes back he said I don't look like.
No, I'm just kidding.
what,
I did not really mean that. I was just kidding.
No, I was thinking if there is any qualities that you.
How can you see? No, you can't see a person and say he has this Sankranti. I'm just kidding.
The sun is a ninth.
Sun is in 9th house. So what kind of problems can be expected from 9th house?
Bhagya.
Fortune, Bhagya,
So is the
Dharma.
relationship with the father?
Yeah, can be father. So with respect to one of those things, there can be problem with father, problems to father after birth, or problems in following the dharma. So some weakness is possible, some weakness there, which puts the person down as a person.
Even the sun is its own house, right?
Yeah, still doesn't matter.
Does the association with whom he is there, does it concern? Does it matter?
It can matter, but the bottom line is there is a Sankranti dosha. So if no Shanti was done for Sankranti, if not specifically like Parasa said, some kind of Shanti, some Navagraha Homam, something if they did. If they did not do like that, then there is likely to be big problems in life. Fortune doesn't bloom basically. Fortune doesn't blossom. There are problems with father. Father has a lot of trouble. Such events are possible. So they may have because you were born close to Sankranti. Probably they went to some astrologer. He was aware, and my guess is probably they did some kind of Shanti. They must have done. Yeah, ask them. If they didn't do it, you better do it.
Is it throughout the life or that?
Yeah, Sankranti Dashami is throughout the life. Throughout the life.
Age.
No, it's throughout the life.
That is true with all the remedies that we have been going through, right?
Yes.
Chaturdashi
Yes.
and
Yes, that is always there.
Just
And which devata? Which is the Rakshasi, Saturday. So Rakshasi. So when you do the homam, you should have Rakshasi, sun and moon.
Rakshasi, what is the
Form.
form or what is it?
It's not given by Parasara. So you can, if there is any classic which gives
What
it, you
kind
can
of
use.
idol or what kind of
From the name you can guess. Basically make some gruesome idol. Something that looks like a demoness.
right?
So we do have one example. Actually, this you have Saturn also very close to Lagna. You have two planets on Sandhis, Raj Sandhis. So actually, you have, because you were born on a Sankranti day, for you doing Satyanarayana Vradam on Sankranti days will be very good, because you have that Sankranti feature in your chart. You can use it to your advantage. On Sankranti times, they are auspicious for praying to Satyanarayana. So you pray to Satyanarayana, not Vratam, you just do Satyanarayana Puja. You just do his 108 names. Or just do Om Namo Bhagavate Satyadevaya, you do one mala on every Surya Sankramana day, close to the Surya Sankramana time. It will be very good for you. For me?
It's AK also.
Oh, Saturn is AK. So the person who's on
Not
whose...
Saturn, sun.
Oh, why did we look at Sun earlier?
You looked at
We made a mistake. See, we made a mistake then.
what?
It's not relating to father or dharma or fortune. It is relating to Saturn. He was born on a Saturday. This Sankranti is Saturday Sankranti. So Saturn you have to look at. What house is Saturn owns? Second house, third house. Second house is family, speech, money, etc.
That's why I have no money.
Third house is the brothers, siblings, etc. So relating to those, there can be some problems because of the Sankranti dosha. If the Upashanti is not done. So we made a mistake. Because it is Surya Sankramana, we just use Surya directly. That's why you use Sun in every chart.
So it is, you have to take the weekday and
The weekday at the time of Sankranti,
at the time of that corresponding law.
the corresponding lord. See his placement in the chart. So he is second lord, third lord in the second house. Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense. With resources, it makes sense. Not resources, with finances, it makes sense to me. Any stock that I touch, either the stock will go down or something else will happen. So I and stocks never go together.
Please don't buy any broadcast stock. It's already down. Don't make it down more.
No, but that's something I've been noticing. So that
Okay. Anyway, probably because you are from a traditional family, probably they already did something for you.
maybe
They may have done.
when you want
Now I don't know if I will remember. I will remember when the time comes. So because we are close to not Navagraha, I'm talking about something else. Sunny is in Leo right now, so he is soon going to come to Virgo on September 15th, and soon he will cross over from Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra to Hasta. So I just want to mention to you, when Sun is in Hasta Nakshatra, it is a very, very auspicious time to pray to Sun. That is the actually best time in the year to pray to Sun. So find out exactly when he comes to Hasta. You can find out in the software, and he will be in Hasta for around 13 days, a couple of weeks. It will probably be towards the end of September or beginning of October. maybe around September 2025, around that time he will come into Hasta and stay till the end of the Navaratris, probably, I am guessing. So those 2 weeks are very, very auspicious for praying to sun. So if you can pray to sun, you can do the Gayatri mantra, Savitri Gayatri mantra, you can do any other Surya mantras. If you don't know anything, just say Om Suryaya Namah, or Om Sum Suryaya Namah, or you say Om Ghani, Om Hrim Ghani Surya Aditya Om, that you can do. Any Surya mantra you do, or the best is Surya Upanishad. Surya Upanishad basically prays to Surya as the supreme deity of this universe. You can look at any Devata, in their highest form, they are the supreme Devata of the whole universe. All Devatas came from him. He says Rudra is actually a manifestation of you yourself. Vishnu is nothing but just you. Like that it prays. Brahma is nothing but you. Like that Surya Upanishad prays to Surya. It's the highest praise of Surya. So if you can read, especially that particular Surya Upanishad, if you read during the time of Hasta Aditya, when Aditya is in Hasta, it is extremely powerful. So if you can get hold of Surya Upanishad and start practicing reading it, by that time you will be good. So during the Hasta transit of sun, either read Surya Upanishad or some other Surya mantra. Do heavily. Then Surya's blessings will come to you. And they will be in general useful. Surya is the king of all the planets. So his blessings are always very important. He is Atmakaraka, Naisargika Atmakaraka. Any other questions? Any other points? So I'm glad. So we have a Sankrant Dosha person. Class.
Because every time we do one of this, we have one in the because we have been seeing in 4 weeks.
Right. You actually, in your case, it's so close. It's just on the
Border. 4 minutes.
Just 4 arc minutes. Extremely close.
What is the analogy? Like why it is considered?
What is the energy? What do you mean? I didn't understand
Like
you.
why
Why the dosha?
considering the sun from one side to other?
I'm not sure.
Maybe
You
power is
hypothesize.
not
I
there
just want to hear what you think. What is your hypothesis? Just think.
Maybe sun is not
Yeah.
powerful at times.
So sun is basically the Karaka for Naisargika Atma, the inherent Atmakaraka. He is basically the soul of the entire universe. It's a part of sun who lives in your heart as the spark, the small spark, which is basically your soul. So it is that. Now, in each sign, he is one Aditya. He has the form of one particular Aditya. So when he changes sign, what happens? Suddenly, instead of this Aditya, he is this Aditya. He is changing the form. During the time he is in the sign, he is this. Now he has to slowly change into somebody else. So he is basically on the move, on the transition towards the edge. So if you are close to the edge, sun is basically changing. It's like you are looking at TV, there is a slideshow. One slide is basically fading away and another slide is coming in. So you are at the fade time. So basically the slide is not clearly visible.
Considering this, it is not just for sun, but it is happening for sun, but every planet when it's in the transition from the last half degree to the side, I think this will be true, but sun seems to be more significant.
Rasisandhi is not in general good for any planet.
Any planet.
Sandhi, last half degree and first half degree of a sign, or even last 1 degree, first 1 degree of a sign is not so auspicious.
That is why we are
But sun, especially which Rasi he is in, is very important for sun, because he becomes one Aditya there. And then based on that Aditya form, he becomes your soul and gives certain nature to the soul. So that for that reason it is even more powerful. So basically there may be some confusion to the soul. There may be some identity crisis kind of thing basically. Like in my analogy, one slide basically faded, another slide not fully came up yet. So you don't know, you can't see clearly the slide. Similarly your soul, what is it? What is this agenda? There is some confusion. So something like that is going on. Some fundamental problem with the personality.
Why can't it be discrete?
Why can't?
It be discrete, like
It's more or less discrete. But the thing is still,
Some point in time that will be changed.
there is some continuity. It can't be absolutely discrete. Any other questions?
The sun is at 29, 4 minutes.
Yeah. That's not, in my view, that's not Sankrant Dosha. It's not Sankrant. It's not good, but it's not Sankrant Dosha. There's no Sankrant Dosha. It's basically the day of Sankranti. So I would consider a 1 degree period of sun, around approximately 24 hours. 12 hours before and 12 hours after he changes the sign. So that person is safe. No Sankrant Dosha.
the Shanti you do only once or once?
Yeah, you do once. You do once.
Sun gets into Hasta Nakshatra on 22nd and 23rd.
second inside.
So with that logic, is it more powerful when it is at 15 degrees, exactly in the middle?
Not really. I mean, based on the avasthas, there is that thing. But the thing is, once I put a slide, let us say, slide keeps changing every 30 minutes, like 30 days. So or 30 seconds. So during the last half second, slide faded away and another slide came. And then once it comes, it stays like that for those 30 seconds. So in the middle of the 30 seconds, you don't see any special effect on the slide. It's the same. Okay? From that point of view, it is discrete, like he said. It's not continuously always changing. But even in discrete things, during the transition, there is a change. Even in, for example, digital electronics, we talk about digital signals, 0 or 1 and basically 2 states or 3 states. But during the transition, it's not exactly a step. There is some transient period, a few microseconds, even in electronics. Nothing is discrete, absolutely discrete in this world. Everything has continuity. Any questions, any examples, any confusion about some chart?
Yesterday Saloni asked me to
Rectify whose chart?
I think his friend's chart.
Okay, give me the data.
December 2nd,
December 2nd,
1963,
1963.
1:30 a.m.
Okay,
Place of birth is Bombay.
Bombay. Okay,
Today is an event.
okay, 1 second, let me save this. What is the name or initial?
You can say
Saloni's friend.
name, yeah.
Saloni's
She
friend.
didn't come to the class today, so she asked me.
Okay, given by Vijayashree.
Vijayashree or Vijaya? Vijayashree or Vijaya?
Oh, I wrote wrong. Okay, that's okay.
Doesn't matter.
Let me close and reopen. Hopefully that can impact.
1:30 a.m.
You have the new version of the software now?
No, I don't. Not yet. I will soon have.
You said you are going to have new release, right?
Yeah, I was thinking Dasara, Sankranti time frame. And not Sankranti, Dasara, Diwali time frame.
This time. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking, but I don't know. Because I'm busy with so many things right now. So when I get time, I will consolidate. But the thing is, like I said, my real long-term plan is to get it out of my hand. Just leave it. Say Namama, give it to somebody else. It's not mine anymore. Software. I'm planning to release the source code, so make it open source. But before that, I want to create a small community of software developers who will keep maintaining it. So key bug fixes, make sure that there is some procedure so that things don't get broken very badly while you are adding something. And then I'll leave it. It will be much faster. Yeah, I get to spend so little time on this, so that will be more efficient.
Is this your book also coming under this year?
Yeah. Actually, what I told Sanjay ji is I will give it to him after my Jupiter Antardasha comes, which is on January around 20. So next year January around Sankranti time my Mercury Rahu Antardasha will be over and Mercury Jupiter Antardasha will start. So I wanted to come out in Jupiter Antardasha. Okay, so what are the events?
The first job was
First job?
from 1986 to 1990.
Like what?
Computers. He was a
Computers?
computer. And the second job was in 1994.
Oh, there was a big break.
Yes.
Okay, 1994 second job.
Yeah. And education.
Yeah?
He did his PhD from MIT in 1994.
Oh, I see. That break was for education then.
Yeah.
I see.
And he finished his PhD program in January 2004.
PhD from MIT in 94 means he joined.
January 94.
He joined in January 94.
No, he finished it in
Finished.
94.
Then what were you saying in 2004 what he did?
He's doing another program, another PhD program.
Another PhD from 94.
90, yes. No,
Oh.
2004.
Oh, another PhD
Another PhD.
from 2004.
Yes.
Okay. He wants to have a record for number of PhDs.
I don't know.
Okay.
And he came to USA in December 5th, 1970.
December?
5th,
Yeah.
1970.
Oops. What
When he
happened?
was
December 5th, 1970.
Yeah.
December 5th,
1970.
1970.
70. Yes.
Okay. When was he born? Oh, 63.
When
7
he
years
was
age.
7
Okay.
years old,
Okay.
he came to US.
Okay.
And
So with parents basically.
yeah.
Okay.
And he is not married.
Uh-huh.
But we had some relationship with two people from
With two people.
one in 85
Uh-huh.
to 88
Uh-huh.
and another from 94 to 2005.
That was a long one.
Both are American, like white.
Both are.
They are not Indian.
Okay.
But now she wants to rectify his Navam
Rectify Navamsa.
because Rashi, Navamsa and Dasam everything is in the
Actually,
border.
Rashi is on the border, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's either Leo or Virgo.
Virgo.
Okay.
In time also 130 is not
Yeah, yeah. It may or may not be exactly 130. It may be 132 or 128 or just a few minutes error is possible.
I think is this person that we have Chaturdashi dosha, born on Shukla Chaturdashi.
Why do you say that?
Hmm?
Why do you say that? Why do you say Chaturdashi? He was born on Krishna Pratipat. Yeah.
The data is 63 December 7.
December 2nd.
Okay, September 3rd. December. Okay.
All set?
Yeah.
Some data error?
Changed by 3 months, 2 months.
Okay. You are saying as though you changed by 2 minutes. Oh, just changed by 2 months.
Okay.
At least it's not 2 years. That is good. Okay, the data is December 2nd, 1963, 1:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time, Bombay, India. The person has a couple of PhDs. Second PhD is not over yet, or over. Doesn't matter anyway, doesn't matter. The person had a job in computers from 1986 to 1990. I think then he went back to MIT to do a PhD. And in 94 he got PhD. He started his second job in 94. And from 2004 he is doing one more PhD program.
He finished it in 2004.
Oh,
Yeah,
another PhD in 2004
in
then.
2004.
Quick one.
Yeah.
So he had a quick 1 year PhD in 2004. And then after that PhD he broke up his second relationship, which he was in for a long time, from 94. So, and the first relationship was in 1985 to 88, second one 94 to 2005. And both are Americans, basically not Indians. He is of Indian origin, but he came to USA when he was 7 years old with his parents. And we want to rectify his Navamsha. And the tricky thing is, the Rashi chart itself is doubtful. It could be Leo Lagna or it could be Virgo Lagna. Which one it should be? Now let us see.
Does he have any questions?
No, he wants to rectify chart. Get the chart
The
rectified.
astrologer who is looking at the chart basically wants to rectify. Saloni wants to rectify the chart. So let us just take it as an example.
He himself is an astrologer, like Western astrologer.
Okay, he himself is a Western astrologer, but probably he doesn't have this
Doesn't
border
know the-
problem. In his case, probably Lagna is exactly nicely in the middle of Virgo in Western astrology. So now let us look at the Dasha. What Dasha should we use?
Before that,
Yeah.
I have another, I'm not all set with the data. Why am I getting, it is December 2nd, 1963, right?
Yeah, 1:30 a.m.
1:30 a.m., 5:30 is Bombay, India, this is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm getting...
What is the coordinates you have?
Forget the coordinates. What are you getting? Then we can get
Virgo Lagna,
how much?
5 degrees.
5 degrees.
5 degrees.
5 Virgo 10.
And it's very sun.
Sun in
29 Leo.
29 Leo. Sun in third house in
No, forget the house. What degree minute?
1533.
And moon?
2725 in
Okay.
Taurus.
Okay. Can you read the data again? Look at this data. Is it December 2, 1963?
1:30 a.m.
Is it December 2, 1963?
December 2, 1963.
1:30 a.m.
78 is 30.
Why 78? 7250. Bombay.
In Bombay, Bombay.
Or maybe I have it wrong. One second, let me check.
We have both matched. I have the same one.
You have the same? Okay. No, actually, let me check. Yeah. This is right.
Bombay, India, there is anything else?
78 means it will be in the middle of India. Around Delhi line. What I do is Bombay, tab, I tab, enter.
No, I got 7250. Why did I get this?
Okay.
Other Bombay.
No, there is no.
There are?
There are?
Not India.
Oh, if you select India, I see.
Yeah, if you don't select India, there is some other Bombays will come. It's not only just India, there is another place in the world there is a Bombay.
All right, I'm all set.
You are all set? Okay, now I'm not all set. But I just want to check the other Bombay. Where is the Bombay? Not oh, I see. Bombay.
Belgium.
Haiti also has a Bombay. There's a Bombay and Haiti.
Bombay, Bandra, Bombay is in India.
Okay, anyway. Let us say India.
He used the lowercase Bombay.
Doesn't matter.
Don't
The names of cities are case insensitive. Okay, let us go back to astrology. So now you get at the fag end of Leo. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, should it be Virgo or Leo? We should first let us look at the times when he had the relationship. Let us see what dashas, antardashas are running, and let us correlate with the Rashi and Navamsha mainly. Okay, we want to rectify Navamsha. Let's rectify Navamsha. That will automatically rectify Rashi. So, what dasha? If it is Leo, are there any special dashas applicable? No. Right? If it is Leo, just Vimshottari. What if it is Virgo? Is there any special dasha applicable then? 10th Lord in 10th? No. Sun in Lagna? No. Lagna Lord in 7th or 7th Lord in Lagna? No. Lagna in Vargottama? No. Either case, no. So he is a regular Vimshottari guy. So let us open the Vimshottari Dasha and let us go to Navamsha. So when was the first relationship? You said 85 to 88 and then 94 to 2005. 85 to 88. So it started at the end of Rahu Dasha and went on till Jupiter Dasha, and around from Jupiter Saturn time frame it basically ended. August 88. So Jupiter itself ended it. Okay. Okay. Now let us see what is the Navamsha. So if you look at the Navamsha chart, the Lagna options we have are Sagittarius and Capricorn. Assuming there isn't a big error, the error is just like 10-15 minutes. Basically one Navamsha error. Then it is either Sagittarius or Capricorn, right? So which one makes more sense? During the Jupiter Dasha, she basically broke her engagement. And during the Rahu Dasha, not engagement, sorry, broke the relationship. During the Rahu Dasha, there was a relationship that started, right? 85 when, do you know? Okay. In 85, either Rahu Moon or Rahu Mars. In 85, a relationship was started. So Rahu Moon or Rahu Mars gave a relationship, and Jupiter actually broke it. It let it continue for a while, but finally Jupiter broke the relationship, end of the relationship. Does it make sense with this Lagna?
If it is Capricorn, then Sun is the 8th lord.
If it is Capricorn, Sun will be the 8th lord. He will be the one who will break the relationship, right? If it is Capricorn. And Jupiter is with Sun in Bhadgasthana. And 8th lord in Bhadgasthana can give sudden break in the relationship, etc. And Jupiter being with Sun, he will give Sun's results. So he can, in Jupiter Dasha, Jupiter Antardasha, there is a possibility of break in the relationship. And can Rahu Moon or Rahu Mars give a relationship? Because if you look at the Rahu Dasha, 85 September 26 is when Moon ended and Mars started. So either Rahu Mars or Rahu Moon. Does one of them have the chance of giving a relationship? What about Mars? He is the 4th and 11th lord in the 5th house. There is some chance, not really a strong chance, but there is some chance. But the thing is, from Jupiter he is in the 7th house. But Moon, yes.
If you take Sagittarius as the Sun is a Mankarasthana, it also can break the marriage too.
He is in Mankarasthana, right? But he is the 9th lord in Mankarasthana. Will he break the marriage? This is not break in marriage. This is break in relationship. There is no marriage so far. So he was with a person and he is no longer with the person. So 9th lord in Mankarasthana, can he break a relationship? It basically shows compromising the dharma. That's all. Not basically dharma being broken.
But dharma is also considered as a marriage is also dharma.
Right, but the dharma never even started. If it started, then if it ended, you can say okay.
We consider in this case as almost being married because it's like so many years. It's not just a relationship of 6 months or something.
Yeah.
So won't we consider it as a kind of a marriage that's kind of broken or compromised?
You can consider it that way. You can consider that this is basically like a marriage. Even though they are not formally married, you can consider for our purposes it's a marriage. But the thing is, he did not look at it as a marriage. He just looked at it as a trial. So what I am saying is, more than, so this is not really about dharma. If somebody just is living with somebody just to try if they will be compatible or not, if that attitude is there, we are not really talking about following dharma. If you follow dharma, you get married because you need children so that the lineage can be continued, etc. So this person did not get married. This person did not get married. This person was just in a relationship. So we are not really talking about dharma here. We are only talking about relationship, 7th house. But this is basically, if you are counting upadas, this will count as the first marriage. When we do upadas later, we will see. This will count as first marriage. But as far as relationships, etc. are concerned, let us bother more about the 7th house. If you look at the 7th house, it is owned by Moon. He is in the 9th house with Ketu, but eclipsed by Ketu. But bottom line is, Moon is capable of giving marriage because he is the 7th lord, and from Rahu he is in the 7th house. From Dasha Lord Rahu, Moon is in the 7th house. From Capricorn Lagna, assuming Lagna is here, Moon is the 7th lord. So both the ways, Moon has the capability to give the relationship. So my guess is probably it was before September 26 in 1985 that the person he met the person. So in 1985, meeting a person and getting into a relationship is possible, and later in Jupiter breaking it is also, it is a possibility.
And in general, if Lagna is Capricorn, then
Yeah.
Saturn is in 8th house.
Yeah.
So that person is not good at keeping relationships.
It's not actually, Lagna Lord in the 8th house is not really auspicious, but if you ask me more than that, the Karaka Venus of marriage, he is in Manakarkasthana. The Karaka of marriage and also Yokaraka for this Lagna, he is in Manakarkasthana. So that is a big weakness. And moreover, look at Mercury. Look at Mercury. If you look at Mercury, he is the 7th lord in Navamsa, right? And he is the 7th lord.
No.
Are you 6th lord?
Sorry, sixth lord, right. Then what was I saying?
You're considering Capricorn Lagna, right?
Right. We are considering Capricorn Lagna. So forget, I don't have a point with Mercury then. So Venus being in the 6th house, Saturn being in Lagna, these are not so conducive. And the 7th lord moon is eclipsed by Ketu. The 7th...
eclipsed by Ketu in terms of dharma, maybe isn't it...
not dharma, I am talking about relationship. 7th lord moon is eclipsed by Ketu. So basically, in general, doesn't show somebody who is good in keeping relationships and being in a relationship, in a long relationship. So from that point of view, there are some weaknesses. But what are the good points? Let's change to Capricorn Lagna. What are the good points? Are there any good points?
So one thing we are considering Navamsa, you are considering the Capricorn Lagna only, not Sagittarius Lagna.
Capricorn Lagna makes reasonable sense so far. Now if you consider Sagittarius Lagna, in Jupiter, the engagement basically breaking. Jupiter is Lagna Lord. Even though he is with 9th Lord in Manakaraka Sthana, still it's a yoga between Lagna Lord and 9th Lord. One of them is in Yokaraka Sthana, forget it, right? But the 12th house is an important house for commitment. So the Lord of Dharma, 9th house, and the Lord of Lagna and Sukha, they are in the 12th house of commitment. And the person ran away from commitment. Did not commit. Was with somebody for a long time and then broke. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay? And here Rahu, he is the 2nd lord in 3rd house. He is in a Kama Trikona. So 3rd lord Dasha, 7th lord Antar Dasha. Rahu moon gave a relationship and Jupiter broke. So there is pretty reasonable justification. So Capricorn is a possibility so far. When was the second relationship? 94. Do you know when in 94?
No. But it ended in June 28,
So-
2005.
So he knows all the ending dates and months.
No.
Beginning he doesn't remember. Makes sense.
Because
So June-
the beginning doesn't happen in 1 year. It's not
Ah.
a marriage.
Right. No, some people remember the exact date, time, place
The
they
right
meet.
time.
Yeah, some people are very meticulous about those details. Okay. What was the Dasha running then? At the time they met in 94, it was Jupiter Dasha. And what was the Antar Dasha? Either Mercury or Ketu or Venus. Either Ketu Dasha or Venus Antar Dasha, he met the second person. Okay, that is one data point. Now what about the time it broke? When did it break?
June 2005.
June 28, 2005. What was running then? Saturn. So at the time of during Saturn Dasha, the second relationship broke. Doesn't make any sense.
Lagna Lord 8th house.
Does it make any sense to you guys? The Saturn would cause a end of relationship. Saturn is basically in the 8th house in general. But the thing is, for this particular specific relationship, how do you see this specific relationship?
Eight from the first, right? It is second.
Yes. So first relationship is from
Seven.
Cancer.
Right.
Second relationship is the 8th from there. So that is
11 is
Aquarius.
second house. Aquarius.
So you look at Aquarius.
Is only a possibility.
So from that he is in a Markasthana. He is in the 7th house. 2nd and 7th from any relationship are Markas to it. He is in Markasthana. But would you have expected him to end that relationship? He is the lord of that relationship. Saturn is the lord of 2nd house. Would you have really expected him to stop that relationship?
Because he is a co-lord also. Rahu is
Rahu is the co-lord, yes. There is a co-lord.
take a stronger one.
Then if you take the stronger one, it is Saturn who is the stronger one. But irrespective of that, even if he is not a stronger co-lord, he is basically the lord of it. He is unhappy. He's in the 8th house, he's in Chaturthana. But would you have expected the relationship to end? I honestly wouldn't have. So something is fishy. Then the fact that the second relationship started, when did it start? We said Jupiter, Venus, right? Yeah, Ketu or Venus we said. So second relationship starting in Jupiter, Venus or Jupiter, Ketu. Does it make any sense? Does it make any sense to you? Do they have anything to do with the second house? It doesn't really. Yes.
Am I missing? She's also the same thing like this.
Yeah.
Why are my dates? If I just go to Wimshot,
Yeah.
do you have some magic?
No. What are you getting?
I'm getting. If you just go back to regular Vimshot, my
Yeah.
dates are ending in 7 now.
Yeah. October 7.
What is the change? I didn't notice. What is the magic?
Nothing. Just a little change.
Okay. So you're experimenting
Yeah.
with something.
I was just experimenting with something. The thing is, I added a few Ainamsas basically. Apart from the Lahira Ainamsa, I added several Ainamsas. So I was using a slightly different Lahira Ainamsa.
Okay.
The thing is, when we take so dates are slightly different because of it. Just a few days. The thing is, the thing with Ainamsa is, people treat Ainamsa as an issue of just the start of the zodiac. They think that for measuring any two-dimensional positions of planets, which longitude basically, you need a plane, right? So if I have a plane, if this is my plane, if this is my 0 degree point, suppose moon is here, I project him to this plane, and then I say, okay, he is at this angle. Suppose Mars is here, I project him to this plane, and say he is at, from the beginning of the zodiac, he is at so and so angle. So it is, basically all the planets are not in a plane, almost in a plane, but there is some variation. So what we do is, we take a plane, we project their positions onto that plane, and from the start of the zodiac, which is based on the Ainamsa, you find the angles to that projected position. So this is what we do, right? Now the thing is, the plane that you are using to project, it changes from day to day. Normally what we do is, we take the plane containing Sun and Earth, the plane in which Earth is going around Sun, or the plane in which Sun is going around Earth. Basically they are the same. So the plane containing Sun and Earth, this plane we are considering, and we are projecting all the planetary positions onto that plane. And strictly, this plane is not constant; it keeps wobbling. It's not just one plane because of all the gravitation of all the planets. So we are taking Earth as center. This is the plane that I am using. We are saying, but tomorrow we are using a slightly different plane. So if you look at stars, basically the stars, their position slightly keeps changing with respect to this plane. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. So if you want accurate planetary positions, if you want to do accurate astrology, you not only need the correct start of the zodiac, but you need to define this plane accurately. So there are several options. One is, instead of taking the plane as it wobbles, so today's planetary positions I take, Siddhipravesh chart, I am using a slightly different angle plane. In the natal chart I am using a slightly different plane. So and I am correlating both of them. And I am looking at the transits. Oh, Jupiter is exactly on Sun. But again I am using a slightly different plane. Depending on the angle of the plane, the projected position will be slightly different. The longitude will change slightly. So it's not a big difference. It's only in arc seconds and arc minutes. But in Dashas it can make a few days difference. So this thing, one option that I was pursuing, so far I am impressed by it, but no conclusion so far. But one option I am pursuing is, instead of taking the Earth-Sun plane as the fixed plane, just take the Vishnunabhi plane. Basically, there is a plane containing something called Vishnunabhi mentioned in Puranas. Sun is depicted as going around Vishnunabhi in an ellipse, 23,700 years or something like that. Around 24,000 years he takes to go around the Vishnunabhi once. So the whole solar system, Earth is going around Sun and Sun is going along with all these planets around that Vishnunabhi. So the plane in which Sun is going around Vishnunabhi, that is almost the same plane as the normal plane. in which Earth is going around Sun, but it's slightly angled. But that is a fixed plane. Whereas Earth is going around Sun in a moving plane, but that is a fixed plane, the Vishnavi plane. So I was taking that plane, and the start position of the zodiac I am taking so that it's closest to Lahiri. So it's still Lahiri Ayana Amsha. The start of the zodiac is based on Lahiri, but the plane is fixed. It's not moving every day. So when I take that plane and positions and project the position of Earth center, project the position of Mars center, project the position of Sun center, everything, and then with respect to the Earth center, now find the longitudes of all those projections on the Vishnavi plane. If I do that, I get those coordinates. So that is the difference. That is why I and you have slight differences in the longitudes. Just experimental, but I decided to use this experiment for a and soon when I make a release, it will be available to you.
So I didn't have what was the ending point?
October 7th.
7th.
Okay. I have the 10th.
And you are also experimenting.
I'm not experimenting anything.
Maybe not with Vishnavi, we are experimenting with Rudranavi. Rudrakantha, Nilakantha.
I thought it matched with yours. I thought maybe this is what it should.
Maybe instead of Bombay, you directed Bombay Bandra. Because there are all those things in Bombay. Check what you did.
Bombay Mahim.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not important. So, I'm not happy. I'm not very satisfied. Now let us quickly go to Rashi. Let us quickly go to Rashi. If the Virgo is Lagna, how is the 7th house? Jupiter is in the 7th house in own sign. How is in general relationship wise, there are blessings of Jupiter if Virgo is the Lagna. How is UL? Do you know anything about those two women? Okay. Try to find out something about those two women and try to find out the day, month or date when the relationship started. At least if he doesn't know the date, on August 27 at 3 o'clock in the evening I met at so-and-so coffee shop. It doesn't have to be like that. At least, is it like June, July, or is it like February, March? If he knows that can be helpful. I'm not comfortable with this. Unless you guys are comfortable and want to continue. I just want to leave this for next class. We'll look at it fresh. I just want to make a prashna. I just want to make a prashna saying, is my decision correct? I don't feel like looking at it now. I want to wait for next class to give the correct rectification and also correct guidance. Is my decision correct was my question. I will not go through the prashna in detail, but Jupiter is in Lagna.
Correct.
19 degrees, 20 degrees, so Jupiter is within 2 degrees from Lagna. So this is a good decision. So something is fishy. Also ask whether the date is correct. The 1:30 is after the date change. That also find out. He was born at 1:30 a.m., right? So the date that you have given. Okay. In that case, that is fine. So try to find out some more details. We will consider more options, and then we will also look at the D24 because we know about education. So we can confidently use the D24 and D10 because we worked. So let's rectify. I just want to wrap up for today. So somehow I did not want to give a reading today. So we'll take this up in the next class. We will end for today. All of you are welcome to join for Satyanarayana Vratam on Wednesday evening and for Chandi Homas starting from Friday and going on till Thursday. And if weekdays are not convenient and you are around in the weekend not doing anything important, please feel free to drop in for one of the Chandi Homams on Saturday, Sunday. If you come during daytime, you are likely to have some Chandi Homam because there are 5 during those 16 hours. So you will be able to see. So you are all most welcome. With that note, I will end. Om Tadvishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Soraya Divi Vachakshura Tatam Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namo Namah Shivaya Chacha Shivaya Namo Namah Shivaya Cha Shivaya Chacha Shivaya Shivaya Cha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti